Fury bulks up to 270 pounds, preparing for Deontay Wilder. Says he's going to get a second round knockout. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up for ESPN Plus below. John Jones is getting ready to fight, and it's about to go down. Now, Tyson Fury just posted this on his verified account. It's a picture of him. You know, it doesn't have a date, so I guess we're supposed to assume this is a recent picture. And he says, and I quote, "Solid as a rock, 19 stone, which converts to 270 pounds. I am coming for Deontay Wilder, hashtag KO in 2. And then, you know, he left his promotional tags 4 hours ago. Looks in good shape. You know, Tyson Fury is a big guy. We've seen, obviously, him at all ends of the spectrum. You know, we've seen him look like really big for the weight, and he had to lose, like, basically Floyd Mayweather's body weight, like 150 pounds or something. He said he had to lose that. And he's been in shape, you know, since he really came back, since the first Wilder fight. He's now training with Sugar Hill, Kronk Jim, nephew of Emmanuel Stewart, rest in peace, and Andy Lee. He was working with Ben Davison. That has ended, and I made a video about it, so check that on the channel and subscribe for the latest and greatest. But you can see it in his face. He looks a lot more slender than we've seen him when he first came back, or even before that. So listen, this is going to be a great fight. Tyson Fury, he's unpredictable. People have questions about his cut. People have questions about, hey, this is the first huge puncher that you fought since Wilder. How can you, you know, take his punch again? Wilder is reinvigorated. He had 2 fights that were much tougher than Tyson Fury's last 2 fights, and he prevailed. And he really got one-punch knockouts in both of those occasions. Tyson Fury looks like he's been active, enjoying life. Went to the UFC event, you know, losing weight, bulking up, whatever you want to call it. See, here's an older picture of Tyson Fury. See how big he was? So you look at that. He says, when someone says you can't do something, look at this picture and remember anything is possible. This is me at over 400 pounds. I don't know why he did this. Yeah, but, you know, life sometimes comes at you fast. I guess he wasn't feeling where he was at. So, you know, congrats to Tyson Fury. That's a far cry from where he's at now. I will add on this. I think Tyson Fury, there's a couple things that he says that I do not agree with. And he's in promotional videos and whatnot, he has suggested that he came off of a 3-year hiatus and immediately fought Deontay Wilder, which is false. And I'll bring that up in a second, right? He did take 2 tune-up fights, and see, look, so this looks pretty similar to weights that he previously was. So, you know, in terms of my thoughts, this is just really how he's looked when he has been disciplined. You get what I'm saying? You'll never see like a Tim Bradley style ripped, you know, super vascular Tyson Fury, especially at the weigh-in. But this is him, I think, at the Klitschko fight, you know, so he's a big dude. I think that was the Klitschko rematch. That's what it was. So this is how he looks. This is, you know, so he looks pretty standard. A 6'9" frame. It's just when he gets like this. I think this was the rematch for the Klitschko fight, and you could tell it was going downhill for him, you know. And this is right before he failed drug test. But see, look, this is Fury in the first Wilder fight. So anyway, what I was saying is Tyson Fury is making it sound like he just came off a 3-year hiatus of inactivity and then immediately fought Wilder. That would be even more impressive, you know, if he did something like that, but that's not the case. He fought Safiri and Francisco Pianeta, which Wilder went to Northern Ireland to, you know, promote the fight because it was kind of rumored at that time that they would be fighting next. And this is him working with Freddie Roach and Ben Davis in the first camp. And you see he looks pretty similar. He just has a beard. That's like really the only difference. So, you know, I think Tyson Fury, he's he's coming across like he wasn't in shape in the first fight, but it's not true. He was training in Big Bear. This is also a picture from the first fight, you know, because you listen to what Tyson Fury has said in interviews and whatnot, and he was like, oh yeah, I come up for 3-year layoff and I wasn't in me best shape, stuff like that. But look, he don't look much different. This is the first Wilder fight when he was in camp, and we're about less than a month out now. This was, you know, probably about a couple weeks, a month before the fight when he was training first Wilder fight in Big Bear. And look, you know, and he's covering up his stomach, so you don't really know. It's a completely different pose. For men, if you actually know, this pose makes men look kind of like almost bigger. Like you'll see it on a lot of muscle magazines and stuff like that, because it kind of puffs out your chest, you know, pushes your hand is underneath your bicep, so it kind of pushes that outward and makes it protrude. And you see it on like movie Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito, twins or something, movie cover, or Stallone and Kurt Russell in Tango and Cash. So this, to me, he looks the same, you know. And the other thing I will say about this is Tyson Fury, he's saying he's 270, but I don't trust Tyson Fury. So like if I was Wilder, I wouldn't even take this to heart. I don't trust what he says. Like one minute he'll say, I'm not fighting for the UK because y'all didn't take care of me when you had the chance, so F you guys later, dude. You know, and then he'll promote his book in the UK, or say he wants to have a farewell fight with Derek Chisora in the UK. Or one minute he'll say, I want to give Dillian White a chance. I want to fight Dillian White. Then he'll say, nah, I'm not fighting him. He's a bum. Then he'll say, I want to give him a chance. And then now recently he crossed him off the list. So, you know, he's just an enigma, and he just says whatever he wants to say. So it is what it is. But I don't know. I feel like Tyson Fury is definitely one of the people whose statements you have to take with a grain of salt and take loosely, because it's not consistent. You know, he says one thing and then does another, contradicts himself, doesn't care, stuff like that. So him saying, merely just putting text to say 270, that could be a scare tactic. Like, oh, I'm 270, and you know, and for Wilder to try to bulk up or something like that. So my advice to Wilder, not that him and his team need it, because they have a great team with Mark Breland and JD's, but you just can't, in boxing in general, you just can't worry about what your opponent's doing. You got to prepare your best possible way and come in shape and be ready to fight. And the thing about Wilder's power is he's already floored people who are massively bigger than him, because I don't look for him to come in as light as he did versus Ortiz when he's like 212 and 214 and stuff like that, versus Tyson Fury and Ortiz. So I don't think that's going to be the case, you know. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think he's going to come in a little bit closer, 217, 223, 225, maybe somewhere right in that sweet spot. And that's all you have to do. You have to just worry about yourself and your game plan and your team. You can't be worried about the art of war and what's the name? Sun Tzu, 48 laws of power, tricks and skullduggery, 270, because he might be lying. This could be an old picture, you know. So I don't think Wilder's going to be too bothered by it, because he knows he has the power to floor anybody heavyweight. Your brain's not meant for this, to take blunt force trauma, you know. So it don't matter. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. So this could be an inaccurate number. It could be an old picture. It could be a recent picture. It could be current. He might be 100% true, but ultimately you'll rack your brain like trying to figure out what it is, and you can't be bothered what your opponent is doing. You have to prepare yourself. So I don't think Wilder's going to be moved, you know. So it's cool for the fans maybe, but I don't think Wilder's going to be moved by this. As long as Fury's not in this shape, then, you know, it should be a good fight. And the other thing I will say, he looks really kind of skinny right here. He looked kind of weird. His beard looks kind of mangy. So that was the first Wilder fight, and he's just like making it sound like he wasn't in shape. So this is an old, I think the Klitschko fight. So he looks about the same to me. You know, it just, the Tyson Fury, his weight has fluctuated. This is him versus Klitschko. I remember that. You see his face. He looks about the same to me, to be honest. He fluctuates his weight, and that's just a personal thing that he's had. Some guys do this throughout their career. They just have these up and down weights. And Tyson Fury, see, this is him at the Wilder fight. Like, he looks about the same build. His face looks pretty slender and stuff like that. He just sometimes goes above and beyond and balloons up in weight. And, you know, I can actually show you guys. I can show you, but it's not what people think. Tyson Fury's weight versus some of his recent opponents like Otto Wallin, stuff like that, is not a far cry from where he weighed in with Wilder. So, and he's a 6'9" man. So let's look at it. Why is his weight? Oh, it hasn't happened though. I see what it. Okay. Wilder weighed 212 and a half. Tyson Fury was 256. You see that? So you look at Tyson Fury, he was 256 and a half, but you look at his fight with Otto Wallin and he was 254 and a half. So really a difference of 2 pounds on a 6'9" person. So he's been around that same weight. So you see right here, I'll zoom in for you guys. Wilder fight in 2018, December, 256 and a half. Schwartz, where he got a knockout, he was 263 and a half, and then 254 and a half. So from Wilder to his actual fight with Otto Wallin, it's a difference of literally 2 pounds. His difference was 2 pounds. So that's not really much for a 6'9" frame. I'm a tall guy, and I wake up, and, you know, depending on the time of the day and if I ate and stuff like that, I fluctuate probably a good 6 to 12 pounds at any given moment, you know, just depending on if I have water in my, you know, just different stuff like that. So I don't believe Tyson Fury when he's kind of saying that he wasn't in good shape. He was training in high altitude at Big Bear. You know, he was in shape. It's just Wilder has different power. So if he bulks up, that could spell trouble if he really weighs 270. And his last 3 fights, he's been 254 and a half, 263 and a half, and 256 and a half. You get what I'm saying? So you got knocked out, you know, virtually eyes closed and stuff at 256 and a half. If you bulk up, who's gonna say if that is true and he weighs 270, then you went up a considerable amount, which his frame can support, but is he gonna have the same exact mobility? You know, they keep saying that they want to knock Wilder out, and adding weight, I don't know if bulking up is really the way to do it. Either you have the power to do it or you don't. Like, you know, I guess he feels like the added weight, you know, boxing is tricky, but I wouldn't suggest adding a bunch of weight trying to compete power for power, because you don't have Wilder power. That's just what it is. So you got to be your own fighter and fight your identity. But if you look at, here's Tyson Fury's weights, 258. Safiri, when he first came back, he was 276. Klitschko, 247. So look, in 2015, when he fought Klitschko, he was 247. But when he fought Wilder, he was 256. So, you know, 9 pounds on a 6'9" man. It's not a huge difference, people. At the heavyweight, you can weigh whatever you want. If anything, his weight has fluctuated and he's produced the same results. You know, he fought Tyson Fury at 212 and a half. That's less than what Alexander Usyk fought Chaz Tablespoon at. You know, and he fought Ortiz the first time at 214 and a half. So, you know, just to give you guys an Ego Weight Watchers, it's been a minute since I did an Ego Weight Watchers. Tyson Fury saying he's 270. Ultimately, you know, 270, 300. Wilder has the type of power that none of that will matter if you get hit right. And if you bulk up too much, it could influence your style. Now, I will give it to Tyson Fury, even when he was like really out of shape in his like 3-year hiatus, I seen some training videos and he still moved well for that size. So, you know, maybe he feels this is an added advantage, but I probably, if I was training Tyson Fury, I wouldn't want him to get so much so far away from what he weighed in his last few fights with Otto Wallin and Wilder and stuff like that. I personally wouldn't want that, because I don't think that's of benefit to Tyson Fury. The cut, you know, the cut that he had versus Otto Wallin, the amount of weight you gain is not going to change that. But weight is a very fickle and tricky situation. Weight can put you in negative positions depending on how you feel and how you're carrying the weight. You know, if you raise your weight by 20 pounds, you might feel great in the gym and then be flat on fight night, or feel great for the first, let's say, 4 rounds. And then rounds 5 and 6, it's getting harder and harder, especially when you have to use a lot of movement and upper body movement to dodge Wilder's shots, if it even goes that long, you know, stuff like that. So you could flatten out and get real fatigued carrying that extra weight. So I don't know. See, this is Tyson Fury. Like, he hasn't been in bad shape for, this is him right after the Wilder fight, you know. So he's been about this shape. So I just like Tyson Fury getting his weight down. He sounds confident, but we'll see. We'll see. But that's the latest Ego Weight Watchers, aka ILL, where I give you guys a look to the fighter's lifestyle before, after, progress pictures, especially when they have that fight coming up. February 22nd is Judgment Day. Heavyweight fight, biggest fight in the books. Shout out to Tyson Fury for maintaining his weight. He says he's getting a 2nd round knockout. I guess we have to wait and see, order the pay-per-view, all that good stuff. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.